Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. It's Inkvent time again, and we're up to day number 7. So let's find that on the calendar. Here we go. Day number 7 on my Diamine Inkvent calendar. Let's quickly get into there. Let's see what's behind the door. So, opening it up, well, it's like a yellowy gold label. And it's called Candlelight. Sounds quite interesting, doesn't it? Let's get the calendar out of the way. So, candle, here we go. Yellow label on the side. It's a standard. So I'm guessing this is going to be a yellow ink. I'll just take the wrapper off. So there we go. There's the wrapper off. Gonna take the top off and fetch in my swatch card. There's the cap off. Look at that. That's a nice golden colour in there. I don't know how well that comes over on the camera. Fetching the swatch card, so I'm using my colouring swatch cards. Time to get going. First tool, Pilot Parallels pen with a 6mm nib. Just dip that in. So as expected, by looking on the label, we've got a nice yellow ink. Looks a little bit golden as it's going down. I wonder what it'd be like once it's dried. There we go, one final pass. And a single pass down the side. So we get all the way from wet to when it's drying off. My next tool of choice, it's a Serendipity pen with a broad nib. So we have got here Inkvent 2021, Day 7, Candlelight. Nice looking colour, isn't it? So let's clear this off. We'll leave that to dry. Can't pick it up today. There we go, that's a bit better. So I'll pop that to one side. Let's move this ink out of the way, and I'll fetch in my notepad for a writing sample. So the notebook I use is this. It's a Tomoe River notepad. It's an endless recorder notepad, and it has 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. So let me just do a dip, and then we go. It's day number 7. And this is Candlelight. Drying times. There's immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Finally, 1 minute. After a minute, more or less dry. Looking quite nice. Let's do a writing sample. There we go, nice and smooth, nice colours coming through there. I'm going to pop this to one side, give it time to dry, whilst we take a look at my other Advent items. So next up, we've got my Star Wars, The Mandalorian, The Child Advent calendar. Wow, what a sentence that is. Let's look for day number 7 on here. Here we are. No, that's 18. Below 18, we have 7. Ooh, right on his hand. Let me just get in. Let's open this up. And take a look at today's chocolate. It doesn't want to come out. There we go. So today we've got, well, I think it's a horse. Pop that to one side for later on. Let's move this out of the way. Then we fetch in the bag from my wife. And it's a big bag today. Look at that. It doesn't even fit in the camera. Hopefully that means there's something big and interesting inside. Let me have a dip in. Well, so far it feels empty. I'm right down to the bottom. Oh, there's something right down at the very bottom. I think she's been sneaky today by putting something smaller into a big bag. Let's take a look at what we've got. So this is a flexible LED light, and she must have been listening to me this year. You know, that's quite unusual when your wife listens to you. One of the things I've liked when I watch the videos by Chris Rapp is when he does the LED inside some of the materials. I think it looks really nice, and I wanted to do something similar to that. So I'd been looking for these, and they're very hard to find here in Australia. So I don't know how she's found one, but this is what was in today's. I'm really happy with that. I'm going to be playing around with this after I've recorded the video. Let's pop that to one side. Let's fetch in the notepad. There we go. Line that up. It's a bit wonky, isn't it? I'll fetch in my swatch card and let's take a look at this ink. So on the swatch card, it looked a little bit yellow, but as it's drying, it's going like, I'm going to call it a golden yellow colour. So to me, it's a little bit like when I look at honey. That's what it reminds me of. And as we can see, there's some nice shading coming through in the words, especially in the light, when we look at the L and the G and the H. On the Tomoe River, we've seen it's a reasonable drying time. But look at the writing. Wow, look at all that shading coming through. I think that looks really nice. Especially where we get those darker honey tones, but then they're combining with the paler yellow areas. To me, that really does remind me of Candlelight. I think there's a really good name. One last thing I'm going to fetch in. I've now got some chromatography paper. So I did a chromatography test. That was left for 2 minutes in the water. If we look at this, at the bottom, it's like some peachy colour. We then move upwards into some orange. I can see the teeniest bit of green coming through as well. And then we've got the yellow surrounding it. So really interesting chromatography. I need to spend more time playing with chromatography. I've only just received the papers. And so I'm not 100% on how to interpret what it shows me. That's something I'll be playing around with over the next few months, to be honest. So this is Inkvent Day 7 Candlelight.